You know that moment when your entire world shifts on its axis and you realize you've been living in a story that someone else has already decided to end? Mine happened on a Tuesday morning in Charleston. The Spanish moss was swaying in that gentle Carolina breeze, and I was just starting what I thought was going to be another ordinary day. My wife had that look, the one that says everything and nothing all at once. "I want you to leave," she said. 4 words, 15 years of marriage, 17 years together. And I had absolutely no idea it was coming. See, I thought love was like those old Charleston homes built to last through hurricanes, maybe needing some repair work here and there, but fundamentally solid. I thought we were just living our lives, working, paying bills, moving through our routines. I thought that was enough. But here's what I didn't understand then, and what so many of us never realize until it's too late. Being present in the same house isn't the same as being present in each other's lives. I was struggling with my own sense of worth, feeling like I was falling short in ways I couldn't even name. There was this constant weight of feeling inadequate, even though I was working hard and trying to do right by everyone around me. How many of us carry that heavy burden of never feeling like we're enough? How many of us are so consumed by our own internal battles that we miss the quiet struggles happening right beside us? That morning, as I packed the bag with hands that wouldn't stop shaking, I realized I was about to learn something devastating and beautiful at the same time. Sometimes the only way to truly see your life is to have it completely dismantled first. What you're about to hear is what it sounds like when everything you thought you knew about yourself gets...
Charleston rain falls soft tonight, shadow shattered in the pale moonlight. Words I never thought I'd hear you say changed everything in a single day. Along these sacred streets I roam, searching for what used to feel like home. While cathedral bells ring across the harbor, the storm clouds gather ever darker. Blindsided by the ending, never saw it coming. Thought love was just bending, now that it's done running. Beneath the lights of Rainbow Road, harbor wisdom whispers what I know. Learning how to bend and pray, while I work gates guard yesterday. Within these healing sanctuary walls, my spirit answers mercy's calls. Sacred stillness teaches me to see the divine purpose in breaking free. The battery feels different now, like baptismal water showing how faith can lift when tides run low, revealing paths where saints did go. Between the darkness and the light, answer between surrender and the fight. Master like waves that cleanse the morning shore. Each lesson opens wisdom's door. Past steeples reach into the sky, where pelicans and angels fly. Blindsided by the ending, never saw it coming. Thought love was just bending, now that it's done running. Beneath the lights of Rainbow Road, harbor wisdom whispers what I know. Learning how to bend and pray, while I worked gates guard yesterday. Between surrender and the fight, master like waves that cleanse the morning shore. Each lesson opens a wisdom's door. Past steeples reach into the sky, where pelicans and angels fly. Blindsided by the ending, never saw it coming. Thought love was just bending, now that it's done running. Beneath the lights of Rainbow Road, harbor wisdom whispers what I know. Learning how to bend and pray, while I work gates show the way. Low country sunrise breaks anew, like grace that filters morning dew. Heart echoes whispered through the rain, risen spirits soar again.
So there I was, broken, confused, trying to make sense of how my life had changed so completely in a single moment. And you know what's funny about rock bottom? It's actually a pretty solid foundation to build on. The thing about being blindsided is that it forces you to see things you've been refusing to look at. In those dark weeks after she asked me to leave, I started understanding that maybe this wasn't just something happening to me. Maybe this was something happening for me. See, Charleston taught me I could break and still be whole. But it took leaving that beautiful, historic city and landing in a small room in Myrtle Beach, taking care of my 88-year-old mother, to understand what breaking open actually means. Sometimes God strips away everything you think defines you, your marriage, your plans, your idea of who you are, not to punish you, but to show you who you really are underneath all of that. Sometimes what looks like the end of your story is actually just the end of the chapter you were never meant to stay in. Mama needed me. My brain was getting foggy whenever I tried to chase old dreams, but crystal clear when I sat down to write songs in her living room. My car broke down, money was tight, but the music was flowing like it never had before. What I thought were chains, being stuck in one place, limited resources, caring for an aging parent, what if those weren't chains at all? What if those were the very boundaries I needed to discover my true calling?
Those risen spirits found their wings, led me north to sacred things. Mama needs me by her side. God stripped away my foolish pride. 88 this coming August, can't leave her more than just a few hours. Car broke down, money spent, learning what surrender meant. When I try to chase old dreams, eyes grow heavy, vision dims. Spirit whispers, stay your course. Music flows from higher source. Here inside these sacred walls, where love's voice softly calls. Here inside these sacred walls, God's teaching me to see that these chains ain't chains at all. Sacred walls around my call. Those cathedral bells still ring in every song that I now sing. Charleston taught me I can break. Myrtle Beach showed what to make. From the pieces of a man, following God's perfect plan. Brain gets cloudy when I stray from this narrow musical way, like a compass pointing true to the work I'm meant to do. Every note becomes a prayer in this chair of love and care. Here inside these sacred walls, where love's voice softly calls. Here inside these sacred walls, God's teaching me to see that these chains ain't chains at all. Sacred walls around my call. 56 and finally learning. All that searching, all that yearning led me to this holy ground where love and purpose can be found. In a room with Mama's chair and songs that fill the evening air. So I'll sing until she sleeps, write these songs my spirit keeps. Every day becomes a gift when you let your burdens lift. Those low country lessons learned show how spirits can be turned. Here inside these sacred walls, where love's voice softly calls. Here inside these sacred walls is God's perfect plan. What look like chains were sacred walls. my call. I'm finally home. No more searching far and wide. Grace was always by my side. In this room where love grows strong, I finally found where I belong.
You know what I learned in that small room with Mama's chair and the smell of her evening tea and the sounds of my music filling the quiet spaces between her stories? I learned that freedom isn't about having endless options. Real freedom is about understanding your purpose so clearly that every limitation becomes a gift that keeps you focused on what actually matters. Those sacred walls, they're not confining me, they're defining me. They're creating the exact space where my authentic voice can finally emerge. I spent decades trying to be everything to everyone, chasing dreams that were never really mine, measuring my worth by external standards that had nothing to do with my actual calling. But here, in this small space, with these real responsibilities, writing songs that come from the deepest parts of my heart, here I finally found myself. Not the self I thought I should be, but the self I actually am. See, we live in a culture that tells us more is always better. More freedom, more options, more opportunities. But what if the opposite is true? What if the most profound growth happens not when we expand, but when we accept sacred boundaries that force us to dig deeper rather than spread wider? My wife asking me to leave wasn't the end of my love story. It was the beginning of my love story with myself, with my music, with my calling, with the divine presence that had been waiting patiently for me to stop running long enough to listen. Sometimes the very thing that breaks your heart is the thing that breaks you open to receive the life you were always meant to live. Sometimes what feels like exile is actually homecoming. And sometimes, if you're really paying attention, you realize that those sacred walls aren't walls at all. They're wings. Thank you.